host, Bruno. Bruno, hello.
Hello, Ilya.
New background for you, Bruno. No longer in Mexico. This is sad.
No longer Mexico. I know. That's sad. That's absolutely.
And our guest today is Ilya Shymanovich, a current world record holder and a swimmer from Energy Standard. Ilya, hello and welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for making it.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Bruno. Thank you for the invite.
And sort of to start us off, I'm going to go straight away jump into it. Ilya, have you heard the recent news regarding the Tokyo and Japanese officials potentially putting a hold to the Olympics?
Yeah, I hear about this news. It is a little bit bad news. I saw because will be my the first Olympic, and I didn't go to Rio, and I waited very long time, and I very want to go there.
Of course, it makes sense. You've been waiting for, 5 years now, and potentially even longer?
Yes.
But tell me, how would this affect your motivation? If, let's say, the IOC hasn't made an official statement yet, but let's say tomorrow they say, okay, we're deciding to put a hold on these Olympics, host 2024, and then postpone Tokyo to 2032. How would this affect your motivation at all, if it would? Would you just focus on the next upcoming ISL potentially, or would you take a break from swimming? What would you do?
I don't know. I think we'll think with my coach about it, and maybe we can straight at World Cup, maybe at ISL or World Championship at short course and European Championship. I don't know yet, but I think it will be. I understand maybe after some months.
Okay. And
and talking about. Sorry, I
go ahead, Bruno.
No. Well, I just wanted to ask you, Ilya. Afterwards, you hear this news, like every single media in the world is writing something different. What did your coach tell you, if he or she has tell you something afterwards everything came out?
Did your coach give you some words of advice after the news came out regarding Tokyo? Did your coach, твой тренер, посоветовал тебе что-нибудь после того, как стало известно о Токио?
Yes, my coach said that it is not a problem for us because we had some problem with health, and I think it will be better for us, and we can improve my health, my strength, and etc. And it is not bad news. But now, if the Olympic will be postponed again, I don't know.
Okay.
It is more worse, yeah.
Yeah, it would be devastating for the world of swimming if the Olympic gets postponed again. Yeah. It would be devastating. But Ilya, one of the potential routes I see the IOC taking if they want to make the Olympics happen, because it seems like creating a bubble like we did in Budapest for ISL isn't really suitable for the Japanese government. They're saying that the Olympics is too big. There's too many athletes to safely host a bubble. But maybe a alternative route of action would be to vaccinate everyone. If the IOC decides to take this route, would you be on board? Would you be fine with being vaccinated to go to the Olympics? And what do you think regarding this?
Yeah, I hear about it, but I don't know really. Really don't know.
Would you vaccinate?
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but I must be to do it after Olympics. Okay, no problem.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you, Ilya. And Ilya, you are, let me put this straight. I believe you set something like 6 new Belarusian records just in the 100 breaststroke in the ISL setting. That is incredibly impressive.
No, Yeah, I broke 10 national records in Budapest.
That's including the 50 breast also, right?
Yeah.
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 So tell me, Ilya, how was your preparation before the ISL Budapest? Because it seemed like for many athletes, the COVID affected them either neutrally, either quite negatively. But for you, it seems like you benefited in this period. What were you doing?
Yeah, but in our country, COVID virus doesn't.
Okay. So you just trained in Belarus, no problem, and
Yeah,
everything was
we
open?
train all time and we can prepare for this start. But I think it is my coach. I think my preparation very good because we started swim fast from the first match, and we can save this form till 6 weeks. I don't know how it happened, but I think it is now my coach.
Maybe a lucky miracle. Or the skill of a coach, which is more likely. But Ilya, sorry, Bruno, I can't
think
let
maybe
Ilya
because
go.
he knows me very well. Yeah.
Yes, you guys were very lucky in Belarus that maybe the government didn't restrict you as much because of COVID. But in fact, you guys were unlucky, very unlucky on another how we call it field. The political situation in Belarus was quite unstable in the last half a year. And I was just wondering, Ilya, did this affect your training at all?
Yes, very bad situation, but political situation in our country doesn't influence on my training process, and I always try to do my best and so.
Yeah, fair enough. It makes sense. Did you have a political stance in everything that was going on in Belarus? And if that's a question you don't want to answer, that's totally fine.
I try to do just middle. I don't say about it, and I try to don't know what happened in my country now because I focused on other things.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
The Olympics is your number one focus. But
exactly.
one of your ex-Belarus teammates, Alexandra Herasimania, was quite involved in everything. Do you have any information on how is she doing? And are you guys talking to each other at all, or was she sort of the previous generation in a way?
No, I don't speak with Alexandra because she ended her career maybe 3 years ago, and now I just can celebrate her or her celebrate me as a birthday or something else, and so.
Makes sense. Thank you, Ilya. So you try to stay quite apolitical. Okay. Go ahead, Bruno.
Coming back together to what I was asking you, your preparation before in ISL, you said I was able to swim with my coach, I was able to lift weights. Basically, your whole training stayed the same way as it would have been a normal year. But what exactly is what you did during these 6 weeks? Because you said we started to swim fast since the first match, and we kept this form for 6 weeks. So what specially were you doing between matches to recover, or how was your training? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we had a special training. We had a lot of fast speed walk between the match, but I had a very good rest with our messenger, and I had a lot of stretching, exercise for my health, exercise for my rest, and it was right. I don't know.
Makes sense. And Ilya, as far as I'm concerned, you have been working with the same coach for a very long period of time, 16 years as far as I know, with Yelena Malyuska from Minsk. Tell me, Ilya, now that you have the experience with training in a larger, potentially group of professional athletes under Energy Standard with Coach James Gibson, what would you say are the values with working with a coach from when you're a kid that knows you very well versus someone who is maybe a little bit more professional in terms of coaching professional athletes, has more experience with like top level swimmers? What are the pros and cons of this, if you know what I mean? Какие есть, как это сказать, преимущества в том, чтобы тренироваться с одним и тем же тренером с детства, и который тебя хорошо знает, против какого-нибудь Джеймса Гибсона, у которого есть много опыта в тренировке атлетов более высокого, максимально высокого класса и уровня? Мог бы ты выделить эти плюсы и минусы?
I think the biggest plus in this, I think it is that my coach knows about me everything. He knows me when I was 10 years old, and he knows me when I'm 26 years old. He look at me all this time, and he saw how I rise all this time, and he has my individual, etc. But I can say that it is my second mom, because I spend more time with her than with my mom, and it is good. Training in professional training as James Gibson practice. I have some practice with already with James Gibson the same, but at this time, my coach was near, and he looked how I train with other coaches, and just I can say that I didn't train with other coaches.
Okay, makes sense. So she kind of has a look at how you train with the coaches like James Gibson and Andrea Danino, and then makes potentially some changes if she sees beneficial points from their workouts and implements them in your workouts.
Yeah, I think it's a good experience. It is a good experience for training some time, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks with other athletes, with other coach. It is good because you can take some exercise or take some task for me, and it is good.
Okay.
You can improve with this exercise and with my exercise. Yeah.
Before going deeper into the ISL season that you were amazing and outstanding, I want that you talk us a little bit about your career before, because 2-3 years ago you were a very good swimmer, but you were not at the highest level of the world. You were not competing with Adam Peaty, with breaking Cameron Vandenborg's world records. So what did you think changed in your training and in your mindset from 2017, those World Championships, European short course, to 2019 in Gwangju, where you were outstanding in that 100-meter breaststroke in the semifinals? You put yourself in the top 10 of all time, and nowadays in the ISL. So what was the transition in the mindset and in your training as well?
Yes, I'm starting to competition as a big start. It is European Championship, World Championship. I started at 2015 at World Championship in Kazan, and I improve every year, step by step. But every year I improve my time. Maybe not in 50, just at 100 or not 100, just at 200. And I didn't stay at one place, and every year improved. But the first good result, I think, was at 2017 at the European Championship, short course. Yeah, I was fourth, but I had very good speed at that time. I won to gold medal in University in Taipei in 50 and 100 breast. And I think the most important for me medals was at Hangzhou 2018 at World Championship. It was 2 silver medals. And after this, I think I understand that I can fight with all guys, with Cameron, with Adam, and other strong guys, because it is the same people as I. It is not the
some superhuman athletes.
So, but
yeah, they are human.
Yeah, and I think it is it's all. I don't know how to say. It's all from my coach, because I just hear you every time, every training, and I do what he say me, and that's all.
Okay, thank you, Ilya. Ilya, could you tell us a little bit about how you sort of started swimming and how you met your coach? Because it seems like you guys have a very special relationship.
Yeah. I started swimming when I was 10 years old. But before this, I went just to the swimming pool for just swimming, because my mom friends say here that I must go to the swimming just for improve my health and that's all. But I really liked water. I spent a lot of time in water, on river or lake, in country house, and etc. And when I go to the swimming pool at 10 years old to sport class, I went to my first coach, it is Elena Maluska, and I trained with her for this long period, yeah, and
I get it. So you were you trained with her for that period, and then I guess stuff ended up working out, right? And then you stick to her straight right after that. You know, it makes sense, but is there not a culture in Belarus? For example, in US, if we're talking about United States, it's very simple. You train with a coach in your preschool, then you go to high school, and you typically maybe switch coaches. Then you definitely switch coaches in college, and so on. Maybe you even switch coaches when you become professional. In Russia, it seems like there is a bit of a distinction. There's child coaches, and coaches of adults in a way. And typically, when you turn around 16, 17, you might change. Does such a culture exist in Belarus, or is it very normal for athletes to stick with their original coaches for their entire swimming career? Because I believe Anastasia Shkurdai has the same coach for quite an extended period of time now, right?
I think it's happened because in our country we don't develop club system, and we have not a lot of people who train, who swimming, and we haven't a lot of coach who can prepare athletes at the high level. And, I think problem in it.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you, Ilya. And with that, let's dive into the season itself a little bit. And first of all, the big thing I want to ask you is, please tell me about your rivalry with Emir Sakci a little bit. Did you know about this guy before coming to the ISL? And did you think he's going to be such a big competitor to you?
Yes, I know this guy. Maybe I think from 2015 from Italia. I saw him there, and I remember him from Guardo, 2018, when he won silver medals at Team Breaststroke. Yeah, it is good guys, very funny. We tell in the call room. It is clever guy, yeah, and it is very good that we compete together or a lot of matches, and I think we just a moment.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, you are happy that he's a great competition to you, a great rival, and he pushes you harder, to be a better athlete. But in that sense, that I want to ask you about Embry, were you really expecting Embry to be that challenging as a rival, Because in my opinion, I think we all have our breaststroke favorites. I mean, you were one of those, Adam Peaty, maybe even Michael Andrew and those.
Felipe Lima even. But Emre Sakshi was not part of the discussion, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So were you expecting Emre Sachi to be such a challenging rival to you?
Ты ожидал, что Эмре приедет в такой хорошей форме? Потому что все-таки ковид был, и он все-таки был не на таком уровне до этого.
I think no. I know this guy, but I don't expect that he will be he was very fast. I don't know. It was present for me, to be honest.
Okay, so it was a bit of a surprise.
But it is cool. Well. Yeah, it is cool when a lot of guys do sparring. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is motivate for new record, for new speed.
Yeah, of course, you feed off of each other.
Yeah.
But Ilya, tell me something very interesting I've kind of witnessed regarding you and Emre. You are a little bit different from Emre in a sense that you're also Emre is also really good at the 100, but it seems like you favor the 100 a little bit more than the 50. But unlike Emre, you can also finish the 200. And that brings me to my question. When you guys race in the skins race, it seems like you typically take the first 50, and then Emre takes the second and the third. Why does this happen? Because intuitively, you would think Emre has the speed and you have the endurance. How do you think Emre manages to pull off 3 50s that are totally the same, if not the third one faster?
Yeah, but I think Emre will be able to swim very fast 200. I think yes, but I think he has a very big speed reserve and the skins, and he can swim the first 250, just not maximum, just for relax, and at the third he show him maximum, and it is very cool, yeah. But he very tall man and very strong, because a lot of example when man very tall but not strong, because we have long leg, long arms, and it is not good. But Emre, how to say, Ну, скомбинировал, собрал это все.
He combined all these elements and he put it together.
Yeah, and it is very good.
Yeah, and Ilya, I mean, talking about what I want to ask you about Embre and those skins races and how to approach, and also the events that you are able to swim from the 50 until the 200 breaststroke, and also, of course, the 100 breaststroke where you are the current world record holder. I mean, tell me about the breaststroke technique, because breaststroke is such a special style in swimming, because every single swimmer has a different breaststroke. You can see a similar butterfly, a similar freestyle, but breaststroke, everyone is different, you know? And did you know when you get that feeling about this is the breaststroke I want to swim, because it's so powerful? I mean, your stroke, every time you do it, you know, even if you don't know your name, the people, you know that's Ilya swimming there because you're powerful, your stroke is so powerful. So when did you get that feeling, this is what I want to do with the breaststroke? Because, I mean, in my opinion, you are a revolutionary of the stroke, you know?
And did it kind of click for you, or did you slowly build to the stroke?
As you understand about it, yeah, I have very strong technique for everyone, but this technique made me my coach, because how I said that he knows me very good and knows all my individual, and this technique for me it is perfect because I have a very long leg, and when I pull my leg, I have a very big
drag when you pull them in, or when you
that moment resistance. Yeah,
resistance.
Very good resistance. Yeah, and yeah, have very narrow kick, breaststroke kick. And a lot of people say that it is not normal, it is illegal, etc., etc. But I know that it doesn't break finner rules, and it is technique just for me. I don't know. Maybe who can swim the same? Okay, you can try, but I don't know how you do it. But I swam 200 other technique just for classical, and I speaking about it with Stefana. It is
Stefano Nura, of course.
Stefano Nura, yeah. And he was in shock when he saw that I swim two other technique, 200 and 100. And wow, it is cool.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also talking about the different techniques that you have, would you say you have a favorite one? Like, what do you want to race more? Not talking about the distance, about the technique. Do you like more the technique of the sprint breaststroke that you apply in the 1500 or the 200?
Oh, I like 100 technique and 200 technique because I don't know. When I was a child, I started swim 200, and I like this distance. But now I swim not very fast for all world, and I concentrate just at 50 and 100. And I think technique for the 100 a little bit harder than 200 because I do very narrow kick, but I must to do very powerful.
Okay.
And it is not very simple, not easy for prepare this kick.
Makes sense. Ilya, during the ISL, Mel Marshall had a couple of comments to make regarding your breaststroke. She said it was illegal and that you should be disqualified. But what Bruna mentioned before this was that every breaststroke technique is unique. However, there's one person that has quite a different body from you, but I believe executes the same sprint breaststroke technique as you do. Well, very similar. This person being Cody Miller. And
Yes, I know.
you agree with me?
Yes, a little bit strange.
And Cody Miller received a lot of criticism regarding his technique, especially in 2016, right about there. But nothing was done about it. So I believe you're in your right saying that, hey, this is totally in FINA's rules, because have a look at Cody Miller doing the same thing at the Olympic Games, and everyone was fine with it. But this brings
Getting
me
a bronze medal.
yeah, this brings me to my next question. Do you feel like the rules in breaststroke should be more strict, or should they loosen them a little bit? Because before breaststroke was done like butterfly actually originated from breaststroke. There used to be a lot more freedom in breaststroke. So what do you think? Should the rules be changed at all?
I hear about using underwater video during the Olympic Games and World Championship, but I'm glad that I am for this idea. Yeah, it will be very cool. But I a little bit don't understand what say Melanie Marshall about my stroke. Yeah, he said about the last stroke to the wall. Yeah, and I know that a lot of breaststroke did butterfly kick on the wall. Yeah, it is a mistake, but it happened. And I don't know why he said just about me and about Vladimir Maronov. And that's all. Because
You know another swimmer who does it
breaststroke
exactly like you
did.
do? Molly Hannes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it there, so yeah. But I don't know why just I.
No, I totally agree with you, and that's my point also. It shouldn't be just you, because a lot of breaststrokers do a similar thing to what you do, to be honest with you. The breaststroke kick done in different variation, the extra dolphin bit of a dolphin kick that you can sometimes see, sometimes not see. It's a very controversial topic. And 99% of the time, people don't get disqualified for this. You have to be doing it at a very visible matter in order to be disqualified. But yeah, it's a source of ambiguity that I believe shouldn't exist.
Yeah, definitely. And Ilya, talking about, I mean, we have already talked about your technique, your beginnings in swimming, your transition from being a top level swimmer to one of the fastest in history. So I want to ask you this. It's mainly about the final against London Roar, Cali Condors, and LA Current. I mean, you swam a lot of events during that final, beginning with the two breast with a 202. In my opinion, that was an excellent time for you, not being a true 200-meter breaststroke specialist. And afterwards, you win that 50 breaststroke with a 25.4, almost getting into that record. And you defeat the guy that everybody believed that was going to win. I mean, only that first day, how were you feeling? How was your reaction? And what was the conversation with your coach and with your teammates about your results that day?
In the final, yes?
Yeah, in the final, the first day.
Of course, my coach was very happy, but he believed at me that I can swim faster than I swim before at the semifinal and other matches. But a little bit, it was a little bit difficult because we swim 50 after 200, and I had big like that before the start 50, maybe 10 or 11, but 50 it is not hard distance for me. I can swim with big like that, but I don't know. It is normal thing. But the last year was not so. We have 50. After this, we have 200, and it was a little bit better because at the 50 you can you can warm up before the 200, and that's all.
Yeah, and you mentioned that 50 and in the 200. I mean, the race that stood the most, we can say, was that 100 breaststroke. I mean, I know that you got second, but I mean, both of the swimmers, first and second place, there being you in second place, broke the former world record. And I mean, this was a new personal best, and to that date, it was your new national record. And it motivated you breaking a world record, but at the same time not breaking it in the ISL because one person got it. Did it motivate you to break it in your nationals? And I mean, how was your feeling in nationals, knowing that you had broke it, but it was not yours?
Yeah, I think international it was. It was simple. I don't know. Maybe if I broke world record at the World Championship or at ISL or European Championship, I think I will be more happy than at the national. I don't know. It just was very simple, and I just went to the swim down, and after maybe half an hour, I had a relay, and when competition is finished, we went to the Spectate book after 20 minutes after competition, and I don't know. I don't feel that I broke record. It is just simple for me. How to say? I feel that I broke just national record, and so it's a little bit strange, but.
Do you think you'd feel different if at the same time in the same heat you'd have like Adam Peaty, Emre Sakci, maybe Cameron Vanderborg, Kosuke Kitajima? Maybe I'm fantasizing a little bit, but would you feel different, you think?
Sorry?
Do you think you would feel different if you had all these huge names in breaststroke in the same heat with you when you broke this world record?
Yeah. I think it will be different because you have sparring, and it is better because when I swim at national championship, I swim alone, and I don't know how I swim. Just I make my walk, and that's all. But when you swim with strong guys, you see a little bit near at the neighbor's lane, and it is more. I don't know how to say.
There's more drive.
More interesting,
yeah.
Yeah, more drive.
Yeah, it makes sense. By the way, Ilya, you mentioned that you're capable of swimming with high lactate. And I know everyone measures it differently, but do you mind revealing the highest lactic level you've reached? If you measure it, if you know.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Ты не против рассказать, какой самый высокий лактат ты достигал?
Oh, I think it was 18. 18 is just not much because we have guys in our team who can upload that to 24, 25 for 150. I don't know how, but it is just me. It is so good.
I've seen Andrew Govarov hit a 27 after a 50. So quite insane.
Yeah, I know, just crazy guy.
Yeah, it seems like he can't move after that happens.
Ilya, you mentioned that you didn't feel the same way breaking that world record, but I mean, honestly, you're now the world record holder, and in other words, you're the fastest man that has ever lived in this planet in the short course 100 breaststroke. So my question will be the next one. What do you think do you need to do to keep the short course performance into long course meters? Because you already proved that Cameron Vandenberg record that Adam Peaty can be defeated. What do you think you need to do that in the long course meter stage?
Sorry, and I want to just add to that. We actually have a fan question that's asking, Ilya, do you believe that the world record of Adam Peaty in long course meters is beatable for you at some point? I thought that's relatable questions.
Yeah, sorry.
Adam Peaty long course is very, very fast, very strong, and I don't know. I will try to be to complete with him, but he really strong now.
What do you think you need to do to sort of put this performance you put in short course into long course? Is it more lengthening your stroke a little bit? Is it more swimming rather than gym? Do you know what you're going to be doing to put this short course into long course?
I think for the long course, I must have more specific walk, more speed walk, because and short course is more easily because you have a lot of tongue and underwater and you can rest a little bit. But in the long course, you must swim 50 meters without pause, without rest, and I think I will do more speed walk. Of course, at the beginning, I must have a lot of aerobic walk, but maybe after 1 month, I will start speed walk.
Well, maybe. Well, that question from the fan was a little bit, I'll say, with a lot of pressure to you, what I say. But what about breaking that 58-second barrier, going into the 57s? You're very close to that. What do you think is the step in the mindset to say, okay, maybe right now I cannot go a 56, but a 57, and put my name in the books of history? What do you think is the next step for you?
I will try to beat 58, and of course I hope that this season I will swim 57. But Adam swim 56, and I think 57 is not cool. Yes. I will try to do my best. I don't know how I can
The next step is to be determined, especially with these Olympics might potentially being canceled, right? Do you really have a long course meet?
do what?
With these Olympics potentially being canceled, do you really have a long course meet to which you can prepare in the observable future?
I don't know exactly. Maybe 4 or 5 stars before Olympic, and so.
Okay, makes sense.
I don't know because a lot of problems with coronavirus and without go to the abroad, and I don't exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. You can't plan too far ahead right now. Makes sense. But Ilya, we're receiving quite a number of questions from the fans to you. And one of them is, Ilya, what motivates you to swim, to actually be in the sport?
What motivates?
No. Что тебя мотивирует плавать и оставаться в спорте?
Just a moment. I don't know this answer, but
It's a hard question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would have been able to respond.
I think how to say it in English. I think I'm inspired by the fact that every day I can try to show my muscle. It's very interesting for me. To which maximum I can develop to my speed and my body.
Mm-hmm.
I think this.
It seems like and this might not be true, but from me speaking with various athletes, there seems to be three major motivation reasons, as to say. Some people want to be the best of the best. They want to beat everyone in swimming. Some people want to see what is their highest potential, what is the highest level they can possibly reach. How far can they push it? And then other people just really like the activity. They really like swimming. These are quite rare people, but they exist. What category, if you agree to my categories, would you put yourself in?
I think third, because I very like swimming. Yeah,
Okay.
I like swimming in 10 years, and I like the same, maybe more now, which is, I think, third.
Okay, makes sense. You're one of these rare people
Yeah.
that just like swimming. It's actually quite cool.
Yeah.
And tell me, Ilya, you mentioned you like swimming. As I mentioned, it's very rare that people actually like swimming. Most of them like what it comes after swimming, the awards, just racing, competing. What is the thing that you are thinking when you are racing, when you are swimming under the water? Because swimming is a sport that, it's an individual sport because we all race. You race for you don't race for other people. I mean, the time is your time. But I mean, what are you thinking when you are swimming, especially you being a swimmer that enjoys swimming?
Can you help me, please?
Yeah, so how... Бруно приблизительно спрашивает, как ты умудряешься получать удовольствие от плавания, учитывая то, что мы плаваем так много, как спортсмены относительно, мы с Бруно относительно профессионального уровня, ты профессиональный спортсмен, у тебя много лишений из-за этого спорта, ты часто страдаешь на тренировке. Как тебе удается получать от этого удовольствие?
I think deal in my coach, because every training he tried to change my training, to give me a new task, more interesting for me, and to change my technique a little bit, that I have more interesting for it. Or he give me how to this one. He give me a call a lot of times training. We go to the training, and I have maybe I bad feeling or somebody else, and he said, okay, you swim 50 or 100 meters for this time, and you can go to home. And it
challenges.
motivate me. Yeah. Last 2 years we practice this a lot of time as training. One time I think it was at Saturday, before the day off, and I can try to show near my best time as training. Yeah, for me it is motivation.
No, of course, it motivates you a lot. I used to be a swimmer on a college team in US at Berkeley, and this is one of the strategies our head coach implied whenever the team felt very down, no one wanted to train, everyone felt tired. He would select a swimmer and say, if you hit your best distance at this time, everyone is off. And no matter if he hits the time or not, everyone goes wild, everyone gets excited, starts cheering, the guy is in his game mood, and everyone gets into the training routine and training mentality. So I think that is a great tool to have in your toolbox as a coach. Thank you for sharing this, Ilya.
Yeah. But when I was a child, we have in sport class, we had a lot of relays as a training. And it was very good because you did very strong work, but it is spend time interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And for more easy for you, but you did very good work. Yeah.
By the way, Ilya, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I just thinking about swimming for quite an extensive period of time. What do you think about the idea for kids before the age of 14, 15 maybe, just doing relays, not doing any individual swims? Because to me it seems like in the world of swimming, a lot of young kids get broken very young when they don't reach their goals. Sometimes they get out-touched, and swimming is never fun for them. If they only competed in relays with their friends, I believe it would be a lot more fun for them, and the responsibility for their result is divided upon 4 people. Would you think this would be suitable in a way?
Yes, I agree. But yeah, I agree with this. But in our country, I think, and maybe in Russia, have one problem. Just it is my opinion that a lot of guys ended career at 17, 18 years old after junior years. I think because he had very strong work at 11, 12 years, and then this guy just hate swimming. I think that children must be love swimming, and after this started hard work, etc., etc. Because after small period, just children started to hate swimming and hate training. It's not. This is not normal.
Ilya, I absolutely agree with you. And this, I want to ask another question regarding this. Do you think it's necessary to be fast when you're 12, 13, 14, 15 in order to be fast when you're 20, 21, 22, and so on?
I think no, because just for my example, I was more developed. I don't know. And I
Sorry,
started
Ilya.
fast.
Ilya, there was a connection loss. Could you repeat this answer from the beginning because we lost you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
So for you it was... Ты не мог бы повторить ответ заново? У нас прервался connection почему-то, и мы тебя не слышали.
Окей.
Ты говорил о том, важно ли плавать быстро.
At my example, I had I don't know, late developed.
Late development, yep.
Yeah. And I swam just at 20 years old. I swim a little bit fast. Just before this period, I swim middle, not fast. I just tried to improve my result and so. And I think it is not important swim at a young age very fast, because a lot of these guys finished after junior age and so on.
Exactly.
I think it's very individual, just each of other.
Yeah, fair enough. No, it makes total sense, especially considering, Did your body change from the age of 17, 18 till the age of 20? Like, did you get taller, bigger?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Almost the same, but I have more muscles and so more powerful, and that's all.
See,
I changed not much.
That's very unique also, because some people never change after the age of 15, 16, and some people end up developing till the age of 24. And I feel like young kids put way too much emphasis right now on swimming fast and comparing their results to peers when they're young, and sort of making that as a swimming their profession very early. I think this could be detrimental in a way because you don't allow yourself to develop.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a problem
absolutely true.
within swimming. Bruno, you had a
Talking
question?
about Ilya, yeah, I just wanted to finish with this comment. Ilya, I mean, you are the fastest man in short course meters. Have you ever in your career swim yards? And if not, why not swimming now? Because I mean, that 55.3 that you swam at nationals will be like a 48 in a swim converter. So maybe you can break 48, 47 in yards. Would you like to do that?
Breaking 48 might be pushing it, Bruno. But
Yeah, I think.
Well,
Yeah, it's very interesting. I hear about yacht, yeah, but I really want to swim in yacht, just try. But I haven't opportunity. I haven't. No, I can't go to the American to swim in the yacht. But I really want really. It is. I think it will be a good experience, and I want to try. What is it?
yeah. By the way, Ilya, your level of results probably would allow you to receive any scholarship at any university you would pick in the US. Did you ever consider going to the US to study or to train?
Yeah, I have some invite, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
to say, but I can go there because I train with my coach, and I don't want.
Makes sense. You have a
yeah,
special relationship with your coach.
Say, okay.
Um, Ilya, with that, we know you're a busy guy, and in Belarus it's probably what, 9 already? So we don't want to keep you here for too long. But before we let you go, Ilya, do you mind doing a little blitz with us? So short answer, short question, short answer.
Mhm.
Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Do you have a pet?
Do you
Like-
have a what?
Pet, питомец.
Yes, I have dog.
You have a dog? Which kind?
Yeah. Taxa.
A wiener dog. Okay. That's funny. The little,
Yeah.
how many kilometers do you train a day on average?
I think it is 5K.
5K. Okay.
5K and the train, yeah.
And the bulk of it is breaststroke?
Maybe 2 or 3 kilometers. It is hard to say, my coach.
Okay. Whatever your coach says, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And how many hours do you spend on swimming related activities a week? So like strength and conditioning, swimming, stretching, maybe even massage therapy. What would you say?
Oh, I think if I had 2 sessions a day, I think it is maybe 7 hours a day.
7 hours a day. Do you take Sunday off? You mentioned Saturday is your day before your day off, right?
If I have 2 sessions a day, yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Do you prefer long course meters or short course meters? Personal preference.
I think it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I like a long course and a short course.
What is your favorite event to swim?
100 best.
What is your favorite
But
event?
I will like 100 medley, yeah.
100
Just for
IM.
fun.
Why did we never see you do the 100 IM in Budapest?
Because I have very silly backstroke. I swim in many backstroke and breaststroke at the same time. It is very bad.
Ilya, let me tell you this. You against Emre, against PT in a swim off 100 IM. God, I would pay a lot of money to see this. It would be so interesting.
Yeah, I think Saki will be faster.
Yeah,
Because
his
he,
butterfly freestyle, yeah.
yeah, Yes.
Anyway, what is your favorite event to spectate, though?
Event to spectate?
To watch.
Watch.
I don't know, maybe just YouTube.
Sorry?
So, can you repeat this?
Какая у тебя любимая дистанция, чтобы смотреть? Не чтобы плыть, а чтобы быть болельщиком?
To be honest, I don't know.
Okay.
But I like C200 Breast.
Breast?
With Untitled Chapter. Yeah.
Oh, yes. It's an aesthetic delight. It's much like seeing Ryosuke Iri do backstroke.
Yes.
It's like,
That's
perfection.
pure art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you upon this. Did you have a childhood idol? And if yes, who was it?
I think no. I just liked to see Olympics, and of course I see how to swim right along like Michael Phelps, but I didn't have.
Would you say maybe your coach was your life example in a way?
I think no.
Okay, fair enough. What is your favorite sport to watch and your favorite sport to do, but counting out swimming? Swimming doesn't count.
No, I don't know. Now I just watch swimming, but when I was a child, I watched all sports, which is hockey, football, basketball, volleyball, Formula One.
Formula One,
and, I watch all sports. Just now, I don't know. I haven't time for it. Just swimming and all.
Okay, fair enough. And any sport you like to do in your free time, maybe?
Maybe just football.
Football.
Maybe some volleyball, basketball.
Do you watch the Champions League? Do you have a favorite club?
No, maybe the last 4 years. I don't watch. I don't know why.
What about before?
What?
What about before, when you were a fan?
Before, I watch every year, yes.
Do you have a favorite team? Like a Champions League format?
When I was a child, my favorite team was Milan.
Milan, okay.
Milan.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so.
You should be hated by Andrea Di Nino, a die-hard fan of Roma. Okay, makes sense.
But it was my childhood.
Yeah, man, I remember training with Andrea Di Nino sometimes, and Andrea would come to practice at early morning, and he would say, okay, something's going wrong, we're moving in the wrong direction, no one's doing things right, we're doing like something terrible today because we need to change the mentality. And then later after practice, he found out that Roma lost 0-2 last night. Now it makes sense. But final question, Ilya, what is your favorite team logo and team uniform, counting out energy standard?
In ISL, yeah?
No. Какая у тебя любимая униформа и логотип команды, не считая энергостандарта?
Yeah, I think very interesting logo in London.
London Roar, yeah.
Yeah, London Roar. Interesting.
And uniform?
But and in New York Breakers too. Very interesting.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, uniform. I don't know. I think almost. I don't know. Maybe in Aqua Centurion.
This is the first answer that people say.
No, you're wrong, Bruno. This would be the first answer. But last podcast, when Bruno wasn't here, both Vlad Morozov and Marcus Thormeyer picked Aqua Centurions, and I was very excited as well because it was the first time. And now you, Ilya, we're in a roll.
Sorry.
Aqua Centurions.
So 3 out of this week.
Yeah, 3 out of 3 for this week at Farquhar Centurions, damn. But Ilya, thank you so much. It was truly a pleasure to talk to you. And before we part our ways, do you have any words to say, A, for the Energy Standard fans, and B, for your Belarus fans? Maybe you want to say something in your native language also.
I want to thank you all fans of Energy Standard, or fans in national teams, because your opportunity very important for me, for us, for club, for country, and I want to that you continue this tradition and opportunity us.
Continue to support us.
Continue.
Thank you, Ilya. Oh yeah. This about concludes our podcast with Ilya Shymanovich. Our next podcast will take place on Tuesday, and our match analysis will take place this Sunday. Tune in for match 9 analysis. And thank you so much for being with us, and have an amazing evening.
Thank you.